the next thing I wanted to talk about a little bit too, since we already kind of alluded to it, I just kind of want to highlight it a little bit, is all the stuff with the Bears. It's kind of wild because I know that basically our options at this point are Darnold, Smith, Alex Smith, and Marcus Mariota is the other name I heard, which is ridiculous. These are again like the Alex Smith thing makes a ton of sense because Matt Nagy, Alex Smith's best year in the NFL was with Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator. So of course that whole connection immediately comes in, and that's what everybody says. And I even said that Alex Smith should have been a player that we got last year, but I thought we got him last year because I thought he would be a great player behind Trubisky in case Trubisky did again what Trubisky does, instead of just going or defaulting to Nick Foles, who hasn't been successful for 1 year in his career when heading a team for the full year. So that's a little bit, I'm fine with Alex Smith if it's a cheap deal. If he comes in for a cheap deal, then he's there behind, whether it be a rookie quarterback or whatever, I'm fine with that. Now, I don't want them to sign him as in he's going to be the primary guy and he's the one that's there, because that will automatically be a shutdown for me as far as actually being excited about the team, but in the season. So, and then Sam Darnold's one of those where, do you think that you can fix Sam Darnold? Because essentially, Sam Darnold is a guy who played under a terrible offensive coordinator who did this with Tannehill, and Tannehill ended up going to a different team and having a much better career so far with that team. He's not a spectacular quarterback by any means. It's not like we're saying he's a top 5 guy, but he did succeed better when he left the Adam Gase regime down in Miami. So now Adam Gase is gone from the Jets. Do we think that Sam Darnold can actually reach the potential that a lot of people thought he could before the draft? That's kind of the question. In my opinion, you're taking it's the same kind of risk that you're going to take with basically a Carson Wentz. Is basically you're going to take a risk with them because either Sam Darnold was hindered by the Adam Gase regime, who couldn't call an offense to save his life and wasn't developing him properly. So if you watch Sam Darnold in these highlights, a lot of these highlights come from him just trying to make something happen. And I feel like Sam Darnold does have the potential. I just feel like he doesn't have any of the ability to succeed with the Jets because he hasn't had literally anything. I mean,
Oh no,
you're
we're
looking at
already
him throwing a
starting. I said, oh no, we're already starting for the Bears.
well, listen, I want to just point out as a disclaimer, do I think that Sam Darnold would succeed with the Bears? I think that is probably a 20% chance he does. Just want to throw it out there, so I'm really leaning towards he probably doesn't. But my thing with Sam Darnold is I've watched Sam Darnold throw a sidearm pass for like a 30-yard or like a 20-yard pass downfield and hit his receiver in stride for a touchdown. It's just I've seen those things and I know he's capable. It's just was it a factor of playing under Adam Gase as well as that terrible offense with no weapons? And that's what really led to him never being able to develop into the quarterback he can be. Or is it just that Sam Darnold's again one of those quarterbacks that just is never going to reach his potential like we think? That's my thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and it's when you look at these highlights, I mean, yeah, they're showing some little dink passes here and there to like the running back and such and drop off passes, but honestly, it's one of those where he's still making the throws. He's still running the offense. It's just that again, he's playing with literally no weapons. I mean, can you name 2 wide receivers for the Jets?
Oh, who's my favorite one I always picked up in fantasy?
I mean, Denzel Mims, but he was a rookie.
No, something with a J. Jamison
Yeah.
Crowder, yeah.
Yeah, Jameson Crowder. He's like 5'9". He's like their slot guy. But yeah, and he's talented as a slot guy, but when your slot guy is your best receiver, that's not great.
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
he's Wes Welker, he can't be your best receiver. So yeah, see, look at him making something happen right there. I feel like he has the ability to succeed. He just has to play his like the next step in his career has to be with a team that is going to utilize his talents and start developing him. Otherwise, he's going to crap out.
Sure.
That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like about Sam Darnold. And I do feel like that's an uphill battle because you're going to have to get him out of habits that he's had for 3 years playing with a team that has no offense line, no running backs basically, and no wide receivers.
Hey, they had Le'Veon
And
Bell, man. What do you mean?
yeah, yeah, exactly. The guy that just won the or just lost the Super Bowl with the Chiefs that didn't play a single down. Yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Denzel Mims, super talented. Think he needs more time to develop, but that was like the only weapon I could think of off the top of my head besides like Jameson Crowder. I mean, they freaking had Frank Gore as a running back for a year, and I love Frank Gore, but he shouldn't be your primary back at the age of 36 or 34 or whatever he is.
Yeah. Okay, but what about the concerns that Joe Flacco came in and played better with the same offense?
Well, you also have to remember that Joe Flacco is a quarterback who is confident in his abilities, and I mean, you're talking about a guy who won a Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah, I know, but he sucked ass on the Broncos still.
yeah, but like if you took Eli Manning off the Giants and you put him on the current Bears, he's going to do better than Nick Foles or Trubisky. Like he might not be great, but he's going to be better because he's an actual quarterback that can make actual throws. Same with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco can actually make some throws here and there. It's just Joe Flacco can never do it consistently enough to be a great quarterback in the NFL. But I
Yeah.
mean, he literally went on a Super Bowl run. So I mean, and he made throws in the Super Bowl that were essential to them winning it. So it's one of those where yeah, maybe he was successful, or because of the fact that maybe Sam Darnold isn't the quarterback that we all think he could be. But I think it's more than likely that it's just Joe Flacco's and a veteran quarterback who is more confident in his ability and you know is can here and there make some flashes with the team.
But we have
Because I
our own
also
guy
think,
already with Nick Foles. The same description almost.
yeah, well, same description except for Nick Foles didn't start for that team the entire year when they won the Super Bowl. Nick Foles came in the 3
Probably should
games
have
he
though.
needed to. Huh?
Probably should have though.
No. Carson Wentz was having an MVP season that year.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Carson Wentz was like, is he going to win the Super Bowl over Tom Brady? And then Carson Wentz got injured.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Nick Foles can't start a full year of his career. The only year that he was successful was I think it was with the Eagles, and it was with God, he's the head coach at UCLA right now. He failed in the
Chip Kelly.
NFL. Chip Kelly. He was only successful with Chip Kelly, and that was kind of like a mild success. Like it wasn't anything to write off about. But anyways, there's just a lot to like about Sam Darnold, and I don't know if it's a developmental issue, they just didn't develop him correctly, which very well could be the case, especially because again, he played under Adam Gase, who did the same thing with Tannehill, and then Tannehill went to a better team and became a better quarterback. So the other thing I talked about too was Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota is a much bigger flyer than Sam Darnold because he had multiple years as well as a different team to try to succeed with and didn't. So you're taking a much bigger flyer. And, Sam Darnold has a 20% success rate, in my opinion, for the Bears. I think Marcus Mariota has like a 7%. Like,
Yeah.
it's significantly lower just because he already had a second team where he went to where he could have been better and a coach because Gruden like oddly liked Marcus Mariota. So he also had that going for him too, potentially in the QB battle. And he didn't do anything enough to take that job from Carr, even though, the head coach liked him better. So,
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that move really either because I think we've seen that. Not really.
so